And welcome back to the second half of our doubleheader tonight from Gary Berry Stadium. The Grand Junction Central Warriors come in to take on the Coronado Cougars in their final non-league tune-up before each of these teams faces their league schedule for the second 5 games. Coronado, a big win over Palmer last week, and Grand Junction Central still looking for win number 1. Joined by Walter Johnson, I am Barry Reed. Thank you so much for the tune-in across the great state of Colorado and anywhere else that we may have tune-ins on the internet via YouTube, Facebook, or our local television options here in the Colorado Springs area or the District 11 website. Central won the toss, elected to receive. Coronado will kick it away, and we are about ready to get underway. Coronado, a big win last week against Palmer, Walt, and looking to make it 2 in a row and make it 2 and 3 in the non-league half.
Yeah, let's see if they can keep that momentum going from that big game they had last week. Grand Central Junction coming down, and they're looking for their first win. A hungry football team, and look at this.
And a big hole for the returner. 2 makes the first hit after kicking off. And that and I don't have a 12 on my roster for Grand Junction Central, so there is a bit of roster confusion on the get-go.
I'm not seeing one either on the one that I have.
Full house backfield for the Warriors to come out and off to the right-hand side. And Ladarius Mays makes the tackle, but not till after a gain of 15 yards. Elijah Romero, the 5'11", 168-pound senior, with the first carry of the ballgame, goes for 15 and a first down.
And if the safeties are making a lot of tackles tonight, that's not going to be a good thing.
And straight up the middle, bowling his way inside the 40. Be a gain of 6.
Oh, there's an awful lot of red on that field tonight.
Patrick Courtney, the 5'9", 185-pounder, in at running back.
Oh, good play.
Good tackle. Coming around the corner, Tristan Rascone. So 3 running plays as Rascone gets ahead for 2 and make it 3rd and 2.
They give Elijah Border, number 74, a lot of credit on that play because he strung that thing out. Did not let them turn the corner and get upfield. As the pursuit came by and got him.
We've seen 3 runs from Grand Junction Central, 3 different backs. Full wishbone in the back, handoff straight up the middle. And a big gainer for Courtney down to the 21-yard line. It's good for 17. And Central coming in, taking no prisoners.
Yeah, these Central runners
moving right down the field.
The Central runners may not be fast, but they're pretty quick. They get to that hole in a hurry.
Splitting out to the right, the 6'6" senior tight end and LSU commit Cole Taylor. But with the run, finally wrapped up by the Cougars' John Myers. Still a gain of 2 on the play. Will bring up 2nd and 8.
A chance to talk to Cole Taylor before the game, partner. I walked up to him, all 6, 7 of them. First thing I said, of course, was, "Hi, Shorty, how are you?" Split wide out to the right side.
Edward Delgado in coverage, but it's going to be another run play, almost tripped up. And Ladarius Mays finishes the job off. It'll be a loss of 1 for Elijah Romero.
Nice tackle by
Good job
Mays.
out there, Nick Sells. The up man, the first hit, makes it 3rd and 9. So Central moving backwards on that one. Just underway in the nightcap. 8:58 remaining. Grand Junction Central with their first possession. First pass of the ball game, and Joe Carroll is in trouble, rolls out, looking for his big tight end. Incomplete. No, they're going to call it an interception. Edward Delgado, they tested the junior, and Delgado undercut the route and made the pick. First turnover of the night. Coronado will have it from the 12.
Wow, I need to see that one again, Paul. Let's watch the roll out here. Now, when he threw this ball, I thought this ball was going to hit the turf. And Delgado, man, did he just fly in there and grab that football right out of his hands, it looks like. Big time play for the Cougars.
So Coronado will start at the 11. Two receivers to the right. Ladarius Mays in the backfield. Give it to Mays right up the middle. Mays with a nice gain across the 15.
Well, I don't want to. Well, I'll do it after this play.
Pickup of 4. Bring up 2nd and 6. Israel Lima, 5'10", 220 pounds, anchors the middle of this central line. Motion now. Give it to Mays, and Mays is going to go nowhere but backwards. Coronado's offensive line seriously undersized in this one. Robert Clark, the sophomore, just back from injury, in on the play. Makes the tackle. Loss of 4 on the play makes it 3rd and 10. New quarterback this week, Jaden Rempel, getting the start, the sophomore for the Cougars. 3 receivers to the left. He rolls that way out into the flat, looking for Senrick. And Senrick hasn't slipped through his hands. Senrick had some blocking downfield. So it will be 4th and 10, and the Cougars elect to punt.
Yeah, that thing might have actually turned into something had he caught that football. Well, we got a chance here, partner. Best team on the field tonight. Your referee is Scott Samsel. The umpire is Frank Siaka. The head linesman is Todd Baldwin. The line judge is Mike Morrissey. And the back judge is Tony Rago.
2 with the kick away. Takes a sideways hop, and it will be down at the 40 of Coronado. So short field for the Warriors as they take over in Coronado territory. The way where they were moving the first drive, I don't know that they're going to put it up in the air. The interception after running all those yards.
Mm-hmm.
You got that wing, you got that wing.
Now they put Cole Taylor in motion to the near side. He springs a block. Ladarius Mays, the free safety, bringing down Patrick Courtney.
Man, those guys look quick. Don't look like they're going to break away from you once they do get out in the open, but they are quick to that hole.
Courtney came in with 14 carries for 73 yards for the first 4 ball games. Fake it to Courtney, and Carroll keeps it around the left-hand side, and he'll finally be dropped. We do have a flag on the play. Flag comes in late back at the 16. Senrick brings down Carroll at the 10.
It could be holding or face mask.
It looks like holding is the initial call.
Scott Samsel will let us know.
Holding on the offense, number 16. 10-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
So that is going to wipe out a 13-yard run. The penalty was so far downfield that we're basically going to start 1st and 10 all over again.
Yeah.
From the 27-yard line. But still a bit of a momentum killer. Senrick gets through, creates contact on Courtney. And then lets the rest of the swarm come in. John Myers, second man there for the Cougars. And it will be 2nd and 10. Good swarming defense and good job tonight, early at least, of the Cougars getting somebody through to create an initial contact.
Yeah, it looks like the defensive line is a little bit quicker than that Grand Junction Central offensive line, and that might be where the Cougars' bread and butter is, playing some gaps tonight instead of trying to go head up with them.
This time they will set Cole Taylor to the right in the flank. Fake, now throw him out into the flat, throwing deeper and complete inside the 15-yard line. Elijah Romero, the 5'11 senior, getting out of the backfield and getting downfield for the catch. That was over Ross Woods, the sophomore, who is getting the start tonight. One of 2 changes on the defense. Kane Rempel playing the corner on the opposite side at least. 1st and 10. The keeper for Carroll, and Carroll is down, stretches the ball out, and they're going to call him down before the Cougars pick up the ball. Carroll with just a gain of 2.
Yeah, he's stretched out, but his knees were on the ground, so no problem there.
Carroll just 34 yards rushing on the year. Second and 8 at the 11.
Well, you figure now you're in the territory where you use your 6'7" tight end that's split out as a wide receiver. Didn't get set.
And this is going to come back against the Warriors.
The plate.
I'd be surprised it's not a motion penalty.
Monty Gutowski given the signal that he wanted to decline it, but it may not be an
Illegal
option.
shift on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remain 2nd down.
Illegal shift, I don't think he can decline it.
The shift versus the motion. So the ball moves back to the 16-yard line. And it will be 2nd and 13 from there. There you see a shot of Kane Rempel, the senior, getting a start at corner tonight for the Cougars. 4-man front. Give off and knifing through and making the stop for the Cougars is Nick Sells, the junior. That's going to be a loss on the handoff to Romero.
Extremely nice play, shooting that gap.
Loss of 2. 3rd and 13. Joe Carroll comes off the sideline, talking to his coaches. And a big shout out to my first partner when I started doing games for the district, Chuck Yost. He is the head baseball coach and a defensive coach. Pass into for the big tight end. Did he get his feet in? Yeah. Yes, he did. That time they tested Delgado, and that was just a jump ball. And Delgado giving up probably 12 to 16 inches.
At least.
An easy touchdown for Cole Taylor, the LSU commit. And for Taylor, touchdown number 4 on the season.
Yeah, LSU doesn't come calling for just any old body. Young man's got a little bit of athletic ability, a little bit of talent.
Carroll on for the extra point now. Snap is down and up and good. So 3:58 remains in the first quarter. Let's take a look at that touchdown again.
He's going to roll out to his right. And he's going to throw just a jump ball. When you got a 6'7" guy out there, just throw the jump ball up there, and you can see the size mismatch. It's like me and you, partner. If you was out there I was trying to defend you. That would be what that looks like.
Well, you might have about 4 or 5 inches on Mr. Delgado.
That could be a good point, too.
You watch the end of that play, and Delgado's about a foot off the ground, leaping, trying to get to that ball.
And still not up there.
He got the first interception, undercutting the first pass. But Taylor winning the jump ball situation and putting his Warriors team on the board first at 7-0. 3:58 to go in the first.
Now I tell you what, after this kickoff, I want to salute a section of fans here in the stadium. Let's get this kickoff out first.
Joe Carroll will handle the kicking duties. For Carroll, that was the first touchdown pass of the year. Believe it or not, with big Mr. Taylor to throw to. He puts this one through the end zone for the touchback. So the Cougars will start at the 20.
Hey guys, if we can get a shot of the visitor side of the stands. This is the Coronado faithful, of course, doing their thing. If we can go crawl, can we get a shot of the stands up there, guys? Now there's my fans of the week right there. Those guys came down from Grand Junction, excuse me. Took that 6-hour car ride to come down to a Friday night football game, and first plays a run that's not going to produce much.
Rempel rides the read option to Ladarius Mays, and then with the keeper back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Cougars.
Grand Junction fans came down. A couple of the Grand Central players, Junction players, like he said, Grand Central. Grand Junction players said they're going to actually go back tonight too, Pop. Take that trip back tonight.
That will be a late arrival by the time they get back.
What do you think?
Rempel under center, give to Ladarius Mays. And Ladarius Mays is going to meet Israel Lima, the 5'10", 320-pounder. And Lima wins that battle. No gain on the play, maybe even a loss of a half yard. And it will be 3rd and 10 for the Cougars.
I asked Mr. Lima, I said, did y'all leave any of the little guys home? And he just started laughing. He can hurt a couple of Toledo scales, I want to tell you.
3 receivers, and there is a jump by Grand Junction Central.
You got 3 of those linemen jumping. That's
on the defense.
5-yard
penalty, still 3rd down.
That's unusual when 3 of them jump like that. Normally you have something going on in that offensive line, but that time, no, they just jumped.
So now 3rd and 5. 3 receivers to the right, 2 receivers to the left, empty backfield for Rempel. 4-man front. And the Warriors are showing pressure, and here they come with it, and Rempel goes down in a heap. Patrick Courtney, the senior, in on the play, joined by Tristan Rascone. Coronado empties the backfield, and the sophomore, unable to read the hot coverage and get the ball out, takes the sack.
Coronado entered the backfield. The Warriors said, well, we'll come back there and spend some time with you.
Loss of 6 brings up 4th and 11. And the kick away, spinning, and takes a Coronado bounce this time. Senrick will help usher it as deep into the south end of the field as he can, down at the 36-yard line. And that is where Grand Junction Central will start possession number 3. Not much going offensively so far for the Cougars, yet to rack up a 1st down.
Well, we had the same thing in our first game with the Doherty Spartans. They didn't do much offensively early. Ended up winning big. So let's hope that the same thing happens with the Cougars here.
This is the second half of our doubleheader tonight. And if you're watching from the Western Slope on any of the social media or internet outlets, thank you so much for the tune in. Your Warriors on top 7-0. Full house backfield. Carroll is back, looking pump fake, and overthrown. The intended receiver for Central was Jackson Eads, a 5'11" senior.
See, you got to throw that ball earlier, and you got to throw it before the receiver is into his break. He didn't throw that ball until the receiver actually got into his cut toward the sidelines, and by then it's too late because you don't have much room to put that ball into that area there because that sideline acts like a second defender.
Kane Rempel in coverage for the Cougars. And now 2nd and 10. 1:41 left to go in quarter number 1 here from Gary Berry Stadium in Colorado Springs. Handoff to the right-hand side. This is Rascone, and Rascone with a big hole and a blocker. Ladarius Mays has to come over and throw him out of bounds at the 24-yard line, they say. 40 yards on the reception. I don't see a flag, but Grand Junction Central is walking backwards.
I don't see one either, but apparently one was thrown.
And the official call,
on the offense.
holding against Grand Junction Central.
Replay, 2nd down.
So wipe out the run of 40 for Rascone.
Usually you get a big run like that, somebody might have been grabbing hold of something they shouldn't have grabbed hold of.
So it was 2nd and 10. Now it will be 2nd and about 4 after they marked the penalty to the 43. Late substitution for the Warriors. Sets behind Carroll, slips up at the line of scrimmage. And no gain on the play. That was Courtney with the carry. So now it's 3rd. Well, the scoreboard's showing 2nd and 3.
And that's not right. Well, I guess it is because the we'll say 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3. There you go. Both teams are full reserve of timeouts as we are under a minute in quarter number 1, 45 seconds. Taylor in motion, set up the block on the left, and they hand it off to the right to Courtney. Courtney down the sidelines, 1st down, pushed out of bounds by Ladarius Mays. Mays was needing to be a big impact player for the Cougars tonight, but they need him on the offense. Ripping a couple big runs. He's making all of his plays on the defensive end from the safety position.
And if you don't think that wears you out, that does. You know, I mean, you have to start making a lot of tackles and a lot of plays. It's the opposite effect of what he would do to a defense. Wear him down. That'll wear him down. We'll see how he responds.
4-man front for the Cougars. Carroll back and out into the flat. It's complete to Romero. Romero breaks a couple tackles, and there's Ladarius Mays again. Getting a little help. From Delgado.
Well, the good news is Ladarius Mays plays defense for the Cougars. The bad news is you're calling his name a little too much already.
Another 1st down on the reception to Romero. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. High snap, Carroll on a design quarterback keeper, breaks the tackle of Senrick, now runs out of the tackle of Myers. Ahead for a 1st down, it's a gain of 15. All the way down to the 18-yard line.
That'll be the end of the 1st quarter.
And that is the end of 1. The score, the Grand Junction Central Warriors 7 and the Coronado Cougars nothing. But Grand Junction Central is driving, and now we've got recognition on the south end of the field for a group of Cougars.
I'm not sure.
Can't hear what the celebration or recognition is for.
We'll see if we can find out.
Multi-sport athletes, 2 number 1s in their class rankings, and a myriad of other amazing accomplishments. These athletes help make Coronado function and excel. Over the next 3 weeks, the team will be competing at the Colorado Springs Metro League meet in Fountain Fort Carson, the regional meet in Montrose and the state meet here in Colorado Springs on October 26th at the Norros Penrose Event Center. Come and support these amazing athletes the way that they support every single other organization and team here at Coronado.
So we will switch ends of the field now. Taking a look at the flag on the north end of Gary Berry Stadium. Looks like the wind is picked up, blowing south to north. So now the Warriors will go into that wind here in the second quarter. It's been a blustery afternoon and early evening here in Colorado Springs at Gary Berry Stadium. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Carroll looking for his big tight end again. Throws another jump ball. This one back corner of the end zone. Delgado again in coverage for the Cougars. And incomplete. It will be 2nd and 10. Delgado has got his hands full and looking down there. We don't have a size on Delgado, but if Delgado is 5'9" or 5'10", maybe.
He's wider than he is tall. That's for sure.
But he's got the interception on the first pass attempt. But he's also, now the Cougars slide another defender over.
Nice play.
Gives straight up the middle, is stopped short. In there with the tackle for the Cougars, that is Dylan Reeder.
Part of that recognition was for the cross-country team for Coronado. Doing some good things, get ready for the regional meet and state track meet. So that's what they were being recognized for.
Now 3rd and 9. Must have gotten chilly down there, partner, instead of our nice warm booth, as I saw a couple of them in blankets.
Oh, yes,
Carroll
sir.
with the read. Quarterback keeps straight up the middle, diving into the end zone. And he will be in for the touchdown. 11:04 of the second. And the Warriors find pay dirt for a second time as Carroll takes it up the middle for 18.
It's getting a little nippy down there. We're into that season where the mornings and evenings are a little brisk and the daytime is a little warm.
No, so after scoring the touchdown, Carroll on for the extra point. This one almost blocked, but it is up and good. 14-0 in favor of Grand Junction Central. And now the Cougars are going to have to find some answers and quick here.
We got some work to do on offense now. You're absolutely right, partner. And right now, Grand Junction Central is simply not respecting their ability to throw the football.
For Carroll, that is his first rushing touchdown to go with his first passing touchdown on the year. Well, you might ask how Mr. Taylor has 3 touchdowns if Carroll's thrown his first. The 3 touchdowns for Taylor have come from Michael Gone, the junior quarterback, not playing tonight. And Cole Taylor been on the receiving end of all 3 of those touchdown passes.
We have 2 middle schools here today supporting those Cougars, partner. We got the Russell Raiders and we got the Man Warriors, right?
Lancers.
Lancers, I'm sorry. The Lancers. West is the Warriors.
You are going to be working as a squire for one of the Lancers for the next. Oh, and here's Ladarius Mays. Blockers out in front. They try to trip him up, and they finally do. I thought we might see a flag on one of the Warriors as he, I thought anyway, intentionally threw his legs up. But the return all the way to the 43 for Ladarius Mays.
Yeah, you got
Patrick Courtney with the tackle, saving the touchdown.
You got to make contact. Let's see if he put that leg out like you said, right there. Oh, right there. They could have got him there. A Cougar, actually.
There on the
right there,
floor.
too. They could have got him for tripping if he had made
Patrick
contact.
Courtney hustling all the way. Ladarius Mays saw the blockers in front of him, never felt Courtney behind him.
No, he ain't. And
So
Courtney-
Rempel has a chance, starting in Warriors territory now. Rolling out to the right. He'll keep it, find a seam, dance around to the right side. Makes the first man miss, cannot get around the second man. That'll be a lot of running for a short gain of 3.
Yeah, you ran about 20 and you gained 3. That's you'd rather do it the other way. You'd rather run 3 and gain 20.
And the tackle out there for Grand Junction. We are going to have to check numbers because I don't see a 12 out there. That might be Jagger Wade, who we had listed as 13.
Ooh, he gave
And
himself
this
up.
handoff intended for Mason Michi. Michi with the spin. Kind of stopped on the play. I thought he might have thought his knee went down on the spin.
Yeah, well, and quite frankly, he would know better than anybody if that knee touched. So when he gave himself up like that, but the official didn't blow the whistle, he did the right thing and got up and tried to run again. So.
Loss of 6 on the run, on the carry by Michi. Coronado trying to get Mays out in space, out in the open. Rempel throwing it across the middle, intended for Senrick. Contact, but no flag.
That was simply a case of 2 guys going for the football, and the defender has every much right to that football as the receiver does. As long as he doesn't interfere with the receiver's attempt to catch the ball, if there's contact, that doesn't necessarily constitute pass interference.
4th and 16 now. Kensley Smith, the junior that had a big game against the Palmer Terriers last week, checks in to do the punting. And a good kick. Fielded at the 13-yard line. And the tackle made out there by the Cougars' Nick Sells, who's been busy tonight. Return, I believe that's Jagger Wade. We will have to double check. So now the Warriors have it 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. 9:25 left to go here in quarter number 2. Motion now for Cole Taylor across. This snap high. Taylor able to scoop it up, trapped in trouble inside the 5. The Cougars drive him back, but they will get forward progress to the 4-yard line.
You know, we have seen some bad snaps this year already. Watch this snap. High and over the quarterback's head. And the quarterback's about 6'3", so that's a pretty high snap. And you wonder how this happens when these teams practice this, or you would assume that that's what they're practicing if they're using it in the game as much as they do. How does these things keep happening, these high snaps?
2nd and 28 now for the Warriors. 8:30 to go in the quarter. Straight up the middle, short gain out to just shy of the 6. That is Courtney on the carry, picking up just 2. Make it 3rd and 26.
Offense. Half the distance to the goal.
We had a flag actually. And Scott Sampson
Half the
said it was
distance to the goal.
holding. Half the distance in this case is about 2 yards, maybe 1 actually.
So good job by the Coronado defense, drawing the penalty. There you see the spot of the ball at the 2-yard line. And shotgun for Carroll. Back behind him, 2 receivers left and right. He's in the end zone and in trouble, and he'll just dump it away, throwing it away on the sidelines.
Smart decision.
Cole Taylor was in the relative 3-county vicinity. But a rollout by Carroll and then just doing the wise thing, throwing it away.
Well, he was kind of there. high school quarterback is not that accurate. Right.
Were you and I doing games back in the day? Rampart and Doherty played. And Rampart had the big 6'7" tight end that Doherty just had no answer for. Finally, they pulled one of their 6'6" defensive linemen and put him out in pass coverage and slowed the Rampart progression a little bit.
I think that was a year before I came, to be honest with you.
3 receivers to the left from the 2. Coronado showing pressure. Here they come again. Middle screen. Great call. Courtney is going to be wrapped up as he crosses the 10. We've got a late flag that came in. Courtney gets to the 12, but we will await the flag.
Umpire Frank Siaka threw it. Let's see what he's got here. I didn't see anything with that massive humanity that was in the middle of the field.
And you wouldn't think anybody would be holding on a screen because you want to delay and not hold up.
Right.
Eligible receiver, downfield
eligible
on the offense, half the distance to the goal.
So the lineman got out too soon.
Okay.
So they will spot the ball back at the 2.
I think if I was on the Grand Junction side, I might want to get an explanation of that one. And I think they are asking for that too.
Well, if the ball was at the 2 to begin with.
Yeah. You got to be at least past the 7. You got that 5-yard window.
My question is the spot of the ball right now. If the penalty is half the distance, should the ball not be back at the 1?
Well, they're talking now, so we'll see.
This Coronado Cougar defense obviously undersized, but they are playing with great heart here tonight, down 14 points. The officials still discussing everything.
Let's see what he got. I think they'll pick that flag up.
4th down, result of the play.
Monty Gutowski deciding to decline the penalty, making 4th down as they had done a great job of holding the gain to 10 on 3rd and 28. So now it's 4th and 18. Central needs actually it's 4th and 20. They need the 32 for the first down. The ball is at the 12. Punt coming in, low. Delgado coming in and peels off. Ladarius Mays takes it at the 40. Gives away a lot of ground. Now turns on the Jets. And does a lot of running for about a 7-yard return. Call it a 6-yard return down to the 34-yard line. So a good job of Coronado's defense taking advantage of the high snap that backed Grand Junction up inside its own 5. And they will take over at the 36-yard line of Grand Junction Central.
Well, now they got to get this offense moving. Able to do nothing on the ground so far, but we'll see if that changes.
3 receivers to the right. Jaden Rempel, the quarterback, the sophomore Ladarius Mays on his right, and there is motion by one of the defensive linemen for the Warriors.
For the snap.
Gotta hold your water there, guys.
5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Robert Clark, the sophomore.
Coaches always tell you, watch the football, don't listen to the count.
Trips to the right, Senrick, the inside man, the big tight end. Give it to Mays. Bunches it outside.
See ya.
Now right up the seam. And saving the tackle on the backside for Central was Luke Pleasant, the 5'9", 150-pound senior.
They're going Wildcat now? So they're going Wildcat here.
No, Rempel under center, deep in the eye.
Okay, I didn't see
is Mays, double tight end formation. And Lima comes in and busts that one up. Loss of 1. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 5. Israel Lima, the big 320-pounder, showing he can move that way.
Boy, he's so big the jersey won't even come down. Goodness.
And we have got a timeout taken by Coronado. That is their first. That is the first timeout of the entire game. Comes at 6:49 of the second quarter. Going into halftime, Coronado in scoring position needs this score, trailing by 14. And Ladarius Mays with his helmet off and getting some help from one of the coaches down there on the sideline. Now the trainer going over there. That would be a huge blow for the Cougars if they were to lose Ladarius Mays. Mays trying to walk away from the trainer there, saying, I'm okay, I'm okay.
Well, he's coming to the sideline now, so he might not be okay. Let's see what's going on with that.
There you see Monty Gutowski talking with the offense.
Part of that huge Coronado crowd that you see in the stands here. Coronado travels very well.
Mays on the sideline for this play. Second and goal from the 5. Double tight formation for the Cougars. Rempel with the fake, throws it a little bit high. The intended receiver out there was John Myers. And a little bit too high. And flag on the play back at the 15. Ladarius Mays checks in for Mason Michi.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense. Half the distance to the goal.
Roughing the passer
Automatic
on
first
the
down.
Warriors. Automatic first down for the Cougars. Half the distance to the goal. They'll march it to the 3. They're just inside the 3.
Look, I get it. When you get there as a rusher, you want to let the quarterback know you're in there, but got to be smart, guys.
Mays takes the pitch out. This is dangerous. The pitch in the backfield. Ladarius Mays with the speed. Beats the pursuit. Jason Sanchez, the 5'6" freshman, trying to run him down. Couldn't do it. And that looked dangerous from the get-go. But there you see the speed of that young man, Ladarius Mays.
That was
3 touchdown performance last week against Palmer.
That was all Mays' speed there because the Central defense actually had him pinned in, but he was able to get that ball into the end zone.
Smith on for the extra point. Snap is good, down and up and through the uprights. Kensley Smith with the extra point.
Now, folks, you want to watch an athlete in action? Watch Mr. Mays here on the left side of your screen. You see that the Grand Central defense they actually had an angle on him. He simply outran them to the corner of the end zone and walked in. Nobody even laid a hand on him.
3 men in the backfield. Nobody able to get a hand on the speedy Ladarius Mays.
That's what you call athletic ability, partner. That's something that was present 40 years ago in my case, and haven't seen it for a while.
So 6:35 of the second, Coronado draws within a touchdown. Smith walking off his run up on this kickoff. Huge for the Cougars to re-grab a little bit of momentum here. That'll get this crowd back into it. Should make them feel pretty good. Smith drives it back inside the 5-yard line. Taking there, nice hesitation and getting to the outside. And now dropped at the 20-yard line is where they will spot him. That is Zach Warren, the 6'1", 155-pound senior, with the return.
Came up with a lot of Gary Berry Stadium turf on him.
It looks to be the first kick return of the year for that young man. Return of 10.
They're going to try some pass, Scott. They're going to try some pass.
So they're going to split Cole Taylor to the right and hand off to that side in a big hole. On the loose is Elijah Romero. Romero breaks the final tackle by Rempel, and Romero is going to eliminate the Coronado momentum with an 80-yard dash down the sidelines.
Wow.
6:13 on the clock, and just like that, Grand Junction Central, one-play drive.
You talk about a momentum killer. You talk about a play that will just drive a stake into your heart. That's one right there. 80 yards on a running play. I think we'll see it again after this kick.
Carroll on for the extra point. Bit of a high snap, but the kick is up and good. 21-7. The Warriors re-grab momentum. Let's take a look at this touchdown again. 80 yards. Elijah Romero.
Watch the blocking up front, folks. See, they pulled the guard around, pulled the other tackle around, and once they got that hole established, you got to make that tackle. If you don't, it's a foot race, and this time he won it.
Ross Woods, the
almost got tripped up
sophomore,
there.
getting the start tonight. Couldn't make the tackle. Kane Rempel came over, could not make the tackle. But still 6:13 left to go. Time for Coronado to mount another drive and try to draw this back within 7 points before halftime.
Yeah, that was a pretty impressive run.
Didn't take a whole lot of time.
No, anytime you get a run like that, though, you got to give those big guys up front a little credit, too, because they laid some pretty good blocks on out there.
22 seconds after Coronado draws within a touchdown, the Warriors bust back out to a 2-touchdown advantage. Carroll set the kick into that strong southern wind. And he'll kick it away to Ladarius Mays. Actually, this is Kenley Smith muffing it at the 3. Picks it up and has a big hole up the middle. Breaking tackle, still on his feet, out to the 28-yard line. With the tackle for Central, that is Alan Tuck, the 5'7" sophomore. Just 150 pounds, but he saved a touchdown there as Kensley Smith did a great job keeping his feet and getting the ball out to the 29-yard line.
Usually when you get a muff on a kickoff or a punt like that, it opens up those lanes. So lane discipline is not intact, but
that looked from our vantage point, that really looked to be what was going to happen. Four-man front now for the Warriors. Mason Michi in the backfield. Bring Mays in motion. He'll come right to left. Rempel in trouble. Big hole in the gap. And a nice tackle there defensively coming from outside to in. That is Tristan Rascon, the senior linebacker. He's going to keep what could have been a big gainer to a gain of 3. 2nd and 7 for Coronado. Rempel doing a nice job of finding the hole and taking it. This is 2, putting it on the ground. Fell on it back at the original line of scrimmage. Sato 2 getting the carry in there. It'll be 3rd and, well, they're going to give him about a yard, so we'll call it 3rd and 7.
got that ball punched out as he was heading upfield. Had to actually come back to get it.
2 is so tiny, he and Mason Michi, you just get lost amongst all the beef. Rempel rolling out, now runs right into Taylor, ball on the ground.
Coronado got it.
And looks like Coronado back on it. 2 able to cover that fumble. But Rempel is a little undersized to be running into Cole Taylor.
Well, you can say that about a lot of folks. 6'7", 220. Yeah, that's a specimen there. The LSU folks going to be glad to see him show up next year.
Smith drops back inside his 10. Takes his time, gets another good kick. Backspin on it like a 9-iron. Coronado will have to down it. It hit about the 43 and spun back to the 47. So Coronado loses 4 yards on the backspin. And the Warriors will take over at the 47-yard line.
What was that Bud Grant said about the football? Once it hits the ground, it'll bounce, and you never know which way it's going to go. Of course, in Minnesota, it bounced and stayed there, cold as that place was.
4:12 to go before the half. 21-7 Warriors. Chance to really add another nail to this one. Now late motion. Set to 3 receivers to the right. Fake the handoff. Carroll able to dance away. Now he's got his big tight end blocking for him out front. He gets down to the Coronado 40-yard line. Be a gain of 12 and a first down.
That's what coaches say. All we want to do is move those chains.
Into your 4-minute drill. If you're the Warriors.
Russell Raiders there, your pitcher.
Russell and Mann, 2 of the feeder schools, up to Coronado.
It's been a while since they had a pretty good basketball team down at Russell. Well, look like they got some athletes walking there. They might be back this year, partner.
Carroll throwing down the far side. Taylor, the intended receiver. Rempel back with Mays in coverage. And Cole Taylor stops to pick up the ball on the way back.
You know, in life, they say you always want what you don't have. And I always thought about what it would be like if I was 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". Obviously never got there, but.
Well, it hadn't always been a joyride. I can tell you that, especially shopping. 3:33 left to go, 2nd and 10 for the Warriors. Hand this one off the right-hand side. And a swarming Cougars defense wraps up. I believe it was Courtney in the backfield that time. No, that was Elijah Romero. My apologies. Romero is ahead for a gain of 8. Bring up 2nd and 2 with the nose of the football resting on the 34 of the Cougars. So many weapons in this Central Warriors offense. We've seen the wishbone formation. We've seen empty backfield. Now we're going to go back to the full bone. Straight up the middle, met. Simple dive play. Got simply blown up. Dylan Reeder, the junior, said, "Thank you for your big fullback."
Yeah, that's one of those, let's do this on 3rd down because we already got a play on 4th down that we want to use.
Patrick Courtney loses a yard on the play. Bring up 3rd and 3.
4th, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, it is 4th and.
Yeah.
They say 4th and 2. We'll call it 4th and 2.5. And timeout taken down on the field. I didn't see who called the timeout. And here we are in our perch at Gary Berry Stadium. Walter Johnson, I'm Barry Reed. If you're tuning in via YouTube or Facebook or the District 11 internet from the Western Slope or anywhere in Colorado or around the world, thank you so much for the tune in to District 11 Friday Night Football. And the Cougars and the Warriors.
Been a pretty entertaining game so far.
Oh, very entertaining, as was our earlier game, which again will be available on Facebook and YouTube and the District 11 channel. And the live stream, which is a simulcast of that between Douglas County and Doherty in the 5A Full house backfield, pitch at this time around the right-hand side. That is Romero.
Did not get there.
Ross Woods comes up and gets at his ankles. And
well, wait a minute.
they gave him, they say, enough for the first down inside the 30-yard line. Well, now Coronado is challenging the spot to all they can, but they spot the ball at the 28, which is plenty for the first down.
First down, yeah. I thought
it happened right in front of the Coronado bench, so Coronado's coaches were trying to work a call.
I thought he went
Second
out
and
that.
3 now on first down. Carroll back, looking down the left-hand side. Rempel out there in coverage, and it will be incomplete. Pass intended out there for Luke Pleasant, the 5'9" senior.
Never had a chance, though.
Running alone there for a little while. Rempel closed
chance.
up nicely as you get a shot of the Coronado sidelines. Mason Michi coming into your picture.
Brother Austin down at CSU Pueblo doing some pretty good things, and don't be surprised to hear his name called sometime in April. That little get-together they have with that pay-for-play folks.
1:58 left to go before half. Delayed handoff. This is Patrick Courtney. Courtney rumbling up the middle. Finally brought down by Woods, but not until he's to the 5-yard line. Pickup of 24, a first down, and setting up first and goal. Running right up the gut, taking advantage of that Coronado defense, which is trying to rotate some guys in. Defense has done a lot of work tonight. I imagine they're getting tired trying to stay fresh. When you try to stay fresh, that's when the other guys usually pop a big play.
The problem is you got this big offensive line, and not necessarily tall folks, but you got some wide bodies on that central offensive line, and they're just wearing down that Coronado defensive line right now.
2 in the backfield. Give it to Courtney once again. And Courtney will be down to the 1-yard line. Pickup of 4. It'll be second and goal from the 1. Plenty of time. 2 timeouts left for the Warriors as we approach 60 seconds left in the half. And it is second and goal from about the 1-yard line.
They're taking their time about doing this too.
Don't want to make the mistake of leaving enough time for the Cougars to turn around and go the other way on a fluke play. No signal yet, and now a signal. The Cougars stop him short of the goal line. And with 36 seconds left on the clock, timeout is taken by the Central Warriors. Second and goal from the 1, 36 seconds left, and what a huge stand this would be for the Cougars.
Man,
Central won the toss and elected to receive. They threw an interception in the red zone as Delgado got in front of Taylor for the pick on their first drive. But they have scored 3 times since and looking for a 4th here before Coronado opens up the second half. There you see the Coronado huddle.
I'm looking down the Coronado bench, and Say Who Do is getting some attention to his left knee.
Scott Edmonds, the defensive coordinator for these Cougars. Been around this high school game for a few years.
A couple years.
Spent some time with Mitch Johnson down at Fountain Fort Carson. Now the rugby scrum ahead and into the end zone for the touchdown number 4. Carroll on the keeper gets the touchdown. And that is the second rushing touchdown of the night and of the year for Carroll.
Oh, they got some wide bodies on that offensive line.
305, 230, 320. And there is some flinching by the offensive line for the Warriors. 27-7.
Encroachment on the defense.
Oh, they're going to call
Half the
Cougars for
distance,
encroachment.
replay the down.
So they will just retry the kick. No need to go for two here. This game in control.
As long as I'm up 3 touchdowns, I'm not going to kick is up. And
High snap, and the kick is up and through. We've got a late flag on the play. Usually indicates Coronado got into the kicker, but we will wait for the official call.
See who threw it. The umpire threw it, so.
This one will obviously be assessed on the kickoff.
If it's against.
Personal foul.
Usually indicates
Roughing
it's against the Cougars.
kicker. 15 yards. Be at the end of the kick.
Yeah, so it's the Cougars.
Well, let's hope it's not a triple personal foul penalty to where the Warriors are kicking off from the 15 like we saw last week.
No, they'll kick from the 45, from the Coronado 45.
There you see the Coronado sideline as the Warriors have made the 6-hour-plus bus ride, and they are in total control. No rust whatsoever from the bus drive over. Central looking for win number 1. They started the season 0-4. They lost to Montrose, Fruita Monument, Grand Junction, and Palisades. All those are top 20 teams in the RPI except Grand Junction, who is 22. So it's not like they've had a super easy schedule.
No. And these are 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, partner. They don't care nothing about that bus ride.
And this one actually makes its way through the uprights from the tee, 45 yards out. That's an impressive kickoff.
He's got a pretty good leg. I was watching him in warm-ups, and he was hitting them consistently from 50 yards out.
Cougars will start from the 20 with 36 seconds left to go before the half. And we'll see what Monty Kachowski decides he wants to do.
I'd be surprised if he did anything here, knowing he's getting the ball to start the second half. We'll see what he...
We have had a change at quarterback. Into the game is the senior Gabe Chappell. Looks like Mason Michi in the backfield. Michi is in the backfield. Chappell in trouble. Open spot, room to run. But he will be tripped up after a nice gain on the play. Tristan Raskin with the tackle. 23.1 seconds, gain of 9, timeout by the Cougars.
Which means to me that he is going to try to do something here. He's not going to just sit on the ball for these 23 seconds.
There you see the Warriors making their way over to their coaches.
Not so sure I'm on board with this strategy. I think I would get into the locker room and regroup and then come out, take the second half kickoff and see what I can do then.
Monty Kotowski very animated in his huddle, full of positive energy.
There's your former broadcast partner there, partner.
Chuck Yost working the defense for, I'm not sure if that was Chuck or if Chuck Yost is over there on the sidelines. When I first started doing games for District 11, Chuck and I partnered up for a year. Then he went up to D20 and then over to Grand Junction. Chappell in trouble, now rolls to the right, stays behind the line, gets the pass out, but it can't be handled by Robinson, the junior. Anyway, I asked Chuck how the fishing was, and he goes, it's really good when I can find time to get out there and get it done.
Yes, he did say that. With a smile on his face, too, by the way. It was one of those, the fish is real good, don't come.
Yeah. Shh. Don't let the rest of you stay in on the excellent fishing over on the Grand Junction Plateau in the area. Chappell takes a handoff, gives it to Michi up the middle. Michi with a big hole out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Gain of 13 on the play.
First down.
Clock stops as we move the chains, and timeout called by Monty Gutowski. And that is timeout number 3 for Coronado.
That should be his last one.
They are out of timeouts. Ball sits at the 43-yard line, so it would be a 57-yard heave. Or got to find something to the sidelines.
Or you give it to Mr. Mays and see if he can break something.
Well, that's always an option, too, as you take a look at Rascon getting instructions there on the defensive side of the ball for the Warriors.
You know, I don't know. They've got Taylor playing defensive end. I don't know if I wouldn't put him in the middle of that field, let that make a quarterback have to throw over him.
Yeah, but you're getting great push out of your big men, Lima and Austin and Clark.
That's a good point.
In the middle.
That's a good point.
And on the other side. Three-man line now. Rascon pitching. Pinching up on Ladarius Mays. Mays makes a leaping catch. Rascon in coverage. And Mays unable to bring it in. 7.2 seconds left.
Give that young man
it
there.
It will be 2nd and 10.
Give that young man there some credit. He went up there and battled with Mays for that ball, knocked it out. Mays
but
slow.
A play into the middle of the field with no timeouts left.
Mays is slow getting back to that Cougar huddle. Not hurt, I think he's just tired. All the work he's been doing on defense tonight.
Had a great defensive first half. He's had to do a whole lot. Chappell back, 3 receivers out, throw it to this other side. That is Rempel. Rempel with the sidelines, and he'll step out of bounds as time expires at the 38-yard line. So Coronado able to move the ball with under a minute left, but no timeouts.
We got a flag.
And
there's a flag.
We do have a flag down on the Coronado sideline, right up against the sideline.
Right where he went out of bounds.
And they are waving the teams back to
flag
the
on the
sidelines.
field.
What could this be? This is going to be interesting.
And it was against Coronado.
Yeah.
The Warriors
on the
was holding Coronado.
That
They're
penalty
going to
is
decline it for the
declined
halftime.
Declined by Grand Junction. Send it to the locker rooms for halftime. Beautiful night here, after all, at Gary Berry Stadium for the first weekend in October. The Warriors, no problem with the long bus ride over. They lead 28-7. Time for a break here on the District 11 channel. We'll be back with the second half in just a little bit. We invite you to stick around.
Outdoor Leadership is a new program here at Tesla, and we are the first one in Colorado Springs to offer this to our students. And we go from starting with wilderness first aid and include a wilderness first responder, an interpretive guide, and backcountry cooking, and all types of different things to prepare our students for the industry and the outdoors.
Yeah, so Yanni is teaching wilderness medicine, and I have experience in cave rescue. So the students are going to be learning about how to put a person into a cave rescue stretcher.
You're going to go and protect the spine. So what your job is going to be is your job is going to go ahead and either to grab, or we have the handles up so you can grab onto this. Your job is going to be giving commands and to be telling us what to do. Okay, are you ready?
It's the kind of equipment that can be used above ground as well for mountain rescue. They're going to be learning about how to move a patient using pulleys and ropes.
The ground just feels so weird. Awesome! Okay, let's go ahead and keep on going, let's go ahead and keep on going. Perfect, perfect, perfect.
So I created Cave Sim as a way to teach people how to be nice to caves while doing rescue. And when I moved to Colorado, I started doing cave rescue, and I realized, hey, we are destroying caves while practicing for rescue. And so I made this big system, and it has computer scoring. So you're crawling through the cave passage, and you get a score based on how careful you are as you explore.
Our school has benefited in a couple of different ways. One, our Grand Friends bring great expertise and areas of expertise to the table when they work with our students. And another area is relationships. They've connected well with our kids, they work well with our kids, and really develop that relationship that help motivate kids and engage them and want to be at school.
It has really benefited me as a teacher, but it's benefited my students because they get to do a lot of activities that I normally wouldn't be able to do. And I know that she can handle it because she has that experience.
It's just a great link to the community, our students. It's nice for them to build connections and relationships with folks outside of Palmer, and vice versa. I think for the community to see what's happening here is exciting as well.
My conversations with our grand friends have really taught me one thing. It's great for our students, but it's also great for our grand friends. Many of them talk about the excitement that they have to come into a classroom in a renewed purpose for something in their life. And so I would tell all of the folks in our community who are interested in becoming a part of our Grand Friends program, this is a wonderful opportunity that you can not only impact a young person's life, but let a young person impact your life as well.
Grand Friends are wonderful to have. They bring such energy to the classroom. The kids love having them there.
And so having Grand Friends in, whether they're related to our students or whether it's a retired educator or just someone in the community, in the neighborhood, it's so important to have them come here and work with our students so that the kids can interact with them and they can learn from each other.
I really believe that our Grand Friends program is invaluable, not only to the students, but to our community as a whole, because they provide the example that we all hope to be able to emulate.
It is such an invaluable experience to have, someone who's a grandparent figure in the room working with the kids. It is awesome.
She comes in here when she doesn't really need to, and she comes in here and helps us out, like on our writing or something that we don't understand.
I assist my classroom teacher at Queen Palmer Elementary School, Mrs. Heiss, in whatever capacity that she needs for me to fill.
It's so rewarding to work with the children. They're so appreciative and very willing to give hugs and let you know that they're very, very happy that you're there.
This is a very, very rewarding way to give back to the community. And if you think you might at all be interested in it and have some talent in it, give it a try.
It gives me a purpose. I mean, I work part-time, but to come to the school and do what I love, it really is. It keeps me young, hanging around all these young kids. They guess, well, are you 40? Well, are you 80? Well, are you? And then they'll say, no, she's only 50. And I go, okay, we'll take 50.
I love the interaction I have with the students. They just fill me with joy, and especially if I can see that one of them has gotten a concept that they've been struggling with, that just lights me up.
I'm going to give as much of myself as I can, as long as I can.
I'm so excited to be here today to talk about our brand new playground, the Will Rogers Wilderness. 4 years ago, our school began the quest to bring a brand new playground to our students, our staff, and our families in the Rogers neighborhood. We've worked really hard over those years. We obtained grant money from the Colorado Health Foundation and from GOCO to fund this project. We were excited to bring a groundbreaking ceremony out to our community back in May to get started on the construction. Today we are here to hold a ribbon cutting ceremony to officially open the Will Rogers Wilderness to our Rogers families.
I think education is one of those things that really it starts at the beginning with your families and the connections that you make. And I was blessed enough to come from a family that's very positive and they love education. My mother works in this district. I have grandparents that work in the district. And then I graduated from Doherty in 2009. And so I really feel like I have that morale to boost with this district. I had originally gone to school for psychology and I was very interested in neuroscience and the brain. brain and the medical aspect of things. And the more I got into the medical world, I saw all these different individuals that were just struggling with life's day-to-day challenges. Nothing huge or drastic, not these big mental health issues that a lot of people think when they think of counseling, but rather those adjustments of the daily living and what everybody goes through.
She's always looking to make situations better. She works with PBIS in our school and is a huge change agent for that as well. I love working with Brooke because I know that my kids are always going to be listened to, cared for, and she gives her whole heart to them.
She is an amazing counselor. She works with our community, with our teachers, and with our students to help with any mental health issues or any of our supports throughout the community. She connects resources to families, and she does all of this with a smile.
One of the biggest roles of a school counselor is working and collaborating with everybody in the building. And to rely on one person in the building with support of others was a huge task to manage. And I just really want to thank the community for passing that MLO. I think with that MLO passing, we were able to have an additional mental health person in our school. And so not only do we have the expertise of a school counselor, but now we have that expertise of a psychologist in the district, specifically in our own school, which hasn't happened for a long time, having 2 people there to support all needs of the students.
What sets Colorado Springs School District 11 apart from other districts? Some say it is our dedicated and talented staff who are devoted to the education and learning of our students. Some say it's because D11 achieves excellence through diversity, or because we serve the unique needs of all. We know we dare to empower all students to profoundly impact our world. But what does any of this have to do with our brand? We believe our district's brand is what other people say about us when we're not around. Our brand is the perceptions we own, what our audience expects from us, and what they think we've delivered. It contains who we are and what we're becoming, and reflects our values and our ideals. And if we are to influence those perceptions, we need to be intentional about how we tell our story. Colorado Springs School District 11 is thrilled to announce the official launch of a new brand identity and messaging system.
Just as our school district stands out in a competitive field, we wanted our brand to stand out against our competitors. Colorado Springs is as much a part of D11 as D11 is a part of Colorado Springs. D11 is Colorado Springs' school district. In our workshops with the local creatives who led the design, we sketched hundreds of D11s. It was critical that we selected the D11 structure and font that would set our brand apart from any other. Teams involved in this process looked at logos from over 130 school districts around the country. Many of the Colorado Springs districts had one thing in common: mountains. We wanted D11 to stand out from the crowd, so it was decided no mountains. Why the color red? How else could we stand out? School districts around the country use every color you can imagine in their branding. But here in town, we noticed fewer districts using red. Red really makes us stand out from the rest. I learned that there is so much more to determining a brand identity than simply sitting down and creating a logo. There is a lot of psychology that goes into the process behind the scenes. Doing the research, conducting interviews with stakeholders, and understanding what the organization is really all about is so important to the design and message architecture. The final test? Does it look good in print? On a building? On a school bus? On a football field? We think so.
And back to Gary Berry Stadium, ready to kick off the second half between the Grand Junction Central Warriors and the Coronado Cougars. The Warriors leading 28-0, and they go with an onside kick to open the second half. Fumble or loose ball down on the field. No indication who has it yet.
Cougars.
And the Cougars come away with it.
How you can tell is the Grand Junction kids got up, went straight to the sidelines, but they weren't hopping around, running and enthusiastic. So you knew that Coronado got back on it.
Brandon Milholland, the head coach for Grand Junction Central, taking an opportunity, knowing the way his defense is played, scoring right before the half to make it a 21-point advantage. Now trusting his defense to stop Coronado from the 35. Ladarius Mays starts up the middle, kicks it inside, and the left sideline foot race, and he is nudged out of bounds at the 32-yard line.
Oh, if he had about 2 more yards of field to play with there, he might have gotten around him and gone.
Ladarius Mays opens the second half with a 34-yard run. And we saw the speed of that young man on the earlier touchdown where he beat 3 Warriors in the backfield. Now fake it to him. Chappell still in at quarterback. Out in the flats to the open man down to the 27-yard line.
Michi?
That was Mason Michi. I had to wait to see if it was Michi or 2. Coronado going to a hurry-up offense. Senrick in the slot on the left, give it to Mays. He is going to follow Senrick right up the middle, close to the first down. Inside the 25 down to the 24, it will be 3rd and 1. Ladarius Mays hopefully got a chance to rehydrate during the halftime, got some good rest, because he was a busy man in the first half on the defensive side and the offensive side.
Yeah, entirely too busy.
Option left. Mays changes hands with the ball. Might have gotten just enough down to the 22. That'll be a gain of 2 and a first down for Coronado. Just a simple option left play.
Yeah, he changed that ball because he knew he was going to have to use a stiff arm to get a couple extra inches there, and he got him.
2 receivers to the right. Chappell runs into Mays. And then Mays runs into a whole host of Warriors. Lima getting off the pile, but underneath Lima was Rancone.
Well, Lima's a gang all by himself.
Check that, not Rancone. Chappell with the keeper around the right-hand side. Spins as he gets hit, close to the first down marker. Needed 8. And it looks like he got it for the first down.
The right foot spot on that one.
Cougars already to the line, and the officials are going to bring the chains in for a measurement. And the signal given for first down for the Cougars.
And the good thing about that, partner, is it's just inside the 10-yard line, so they can get a first down without scoring a touchdown.
Just inside the 11, you mean?
It's inside the 11, excuse me, I'm sorry.
3 receivers to the left. Michi, the inside man on that slot, fake to Mays. The keeper by Chappell inside the 10, down to the 9, gain of 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 8. Jaden Rempel got the start at quarterback for the Cougars, but when the sophomore had trouble sparking this offense, they went to Gabe Chappell. And this pass to Senrick is complete, but takes him off balance enough. It's going to be a loss of 5. Would have been better for Senrick to drop that.
Yep. Let's take a look at that.
But when you're Micah Senrick, the first thing you're thinking about is make the catch.
Oh, the competitive nature in you is always to catch everything or to do something positive at anything. He probably thought he also could catch it, turn, and run. So can't blame the young man for putting out a good effort.
Pass just a little bit behind him. Chappell checks with the Coronado sideline. Just underway in the 3rd. Sling it out into the flat for Mays.
Oh, nice
Mays
move.
dancing in and out. Once again, still on his feet. Ball comes loose.
Out of bounds.
It'll be out of bounds at the 11-yard line. So pick up the 2 that was lost on the previous play. And now it's going to be 3rd and 10 from the 11-yard line.
Take a look at that again, partner, as he gets to the sideline. Let's see. Oh, he was having some trouble controlling that football at first.
Claudio Austin, one of the men to miss.
Broke a couple of ankles there. And, yeah, he just lost that ball. And good thing he was on the sideline because he simply lost that ball. And a field goal try now for the Cougars, partner, on 4th down.
Weston Smith on. The spot will be the 17, so a 27-yard attempt. And Weston Smith is true.
Oh.
So Coronado gets points on the opening possession of the second half, and they cut the deficit to 18 with a 29-yard field goal.
And one of the things you want to do coming out of that locker room is to get some points. And I think that's why he went for the field goal on that play. Just give your team some hope. Get them a little closer. Kick enough field goals, a couple touchdowns, and you're right back in it.
So now, Coronado points here, 9:08 to go.
Now the question is, what is the Coronado defense going to be able to do with the Grand Junction Central offense? Because frankly, they didn't slow them down a lot in that first half.
Smith tries the onside kick. Oh. It's there for the Cougars. And a couple Cougars ran right past it. It gets covered by the Warriors.
Man, oh man, I wonder what he was looking at because that.
Wesley Little, the sophomore, 5'10".
He ran right by that football instead of attacking the football. Looked like he was looking for one of the Grand Central players to hit, but man, that would have been nice to come up with that.
So Central starts at the 42-yard line. Excellent field position. Ball on the ground. The Cougars are on top of it. That could be the break that the Cougars need. Momentum is swinging red and gold right now.
This was just a bad handoff from the very beginning. Watch as he's coming around here, partner. He just did not give him a good handoff. And that's on the quarterback there because the running back is trying to find which hole he's going to go into. And that's just a bad handoff and a good recovery for the Cougars.
Senior Luke Pleasant unable to mesh with the handoff. Now Chapel back, give it to Ladarius Mays. Mays tries to jump outside, but nowhere to go. And that is Rascon, the senior, making the tackle, 2nd and 10. Give straight up the middle inside the 30-yard line. It'll be a gain of 7. Bring up a more manageable 3rd and 3. Ladarius Mays trying to get out from under it all. Hurry up offense for Coronado. Fake it to Mays. Keeper by Chapel. Chapel at the last minute lunges forward, cutting back inside the 25, down to the 23. It's going to be a gain of 7 and a Coronado first down.
And they're going right back up to the line of scrimmage, too.
8:13 left to go, 3rd quarter. Coronado already has a field goal in this half. They recovered the fumble, trying to cash it. And a give to Ladarius Mays. Mays with a nice swim move. Down to the 6-yard line before he's brought down by Cole Taylor. Partner, he put the swim move on, and that was Jason Sanchez. The young freshman is going to remember that one.
Yeah, well, welcome to varsity football.
Timeout on the field, 8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, and it is called by Grand Junction Central. Coach Mulholland wants to talk to his defense. As for a 2nd straight possession, he is seeing this Coronado offense cut right through what had been the stellar unit of the first half.
And one of the other things that happens in a football game when you go into the locker room 28-7, your team may kind of relax a little bit and feel like this football game is over because Coronado hadn't been able to generate much on offense. What they're finding out now is you let Mr. Mays get going, they can generate some offense.
Turnovers turnovers favor the Cougars 2-0. The interception that stopped the first drive when Delgado cut in front of Taylor for the pick. And now the fumble by Grand Junction would set Coronado up at the 37. Here we go, 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. Mays in the backfield, take the handoff. Following his inside blockers through the middle. Cole Taylor in on the tackle from his defensive end position. Coronado not wanting the Warriors to get a break defensively. And one of the emails I got with lineups for the Warriors, Coach Mulholland, as keeping his feet and finally being drugged down is Mays. Taylor got a hold of the jersey and wasn't going to let go. But I got a list of 14 names for Grand Junction Central earlier in the week from Coach Mulholland. He goes, that's our starters both sides. So they are playing a very short bench, and if you look on the sideline, not many kids to make the trip. And so Coronado in this hurry-up offense, trying to see if they can find some tired legs. They looked dominant in the first half, did the Warriors, but now it's a little bit later. And that
Cougar faithful one and an offsides call, not coming.
Look to the sidelines with 12 seconds on the play clock. Give it to Ladarius Mays, and just too much penetration from the Warriors.
Well, you're going to kick a field goal again. Now this is like getting a touchdown, partner. This is good if they can convert this field goal. But you can't give Mays the ball 3 times going up the middle. The Central defense is looking for him anyway. So you want to get a chance to get him in space. Let him do some things in space too. But if you get
Kinsley Smith on for the field goal. This one spotted down at the 14. Kick of 24 is up and good. So we've played midway through the 3rd quarter. Coronado has added 2 field goals, and it's made the score 28-13 now. Still 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion away, but Coronado with the field goal.
But what you've done now is you've established yourself. You got a little confidence going. You've taken away your onside kick, by the way, because you didn't get the first one. So they're going to be ready for that on this kickoff.
5:51 on the clock, third quarter.
And it looks like they've got some hands people in the game. Of course, this may be their regular lineup anyway. You're right, like you said earlier. He's got 14 and 14. I think they're going to reset the game clock to...
It should be set to about 6:02. They let an extra...
6:15, he said. Let's see what he gave us. Right next to the scoreboard operator. He's trying his best right now to do that. And we'll see what they final.
So while we are waiting for the clock to reset, there it is, 6:15. And Smith ready to send it away. Coronado unable to cash points on the interception, but they can on the fumble. And this one is muffed inside the 5 again. Picked it up and with the return, but only to the 15-yard line. And that is Zach Warren, the 6-foot wide receiver. Trouble handling it inside the 5. Got it back to the 16 is where they will officially spot it. But great field position for this Coronado defense. And the handoff to Romero. Romero dances his way around the right side to the 25. That's close to a first down, pickup of 9. And of course, Elijah Romero had that 80-yard sprint for a touchdown. For the third touchdown for the Warriors, right after Mays had scored from 5 yards out. Grand Junction Central popped the next offensive play for 80 yards and the touchdown to take the 21-7 lead. Carroll under center, give to the fullback. Met by Nick Sells and a host of Cougars. John Myers in on the tackle, the middle linebacker as well. First down out at the 30-yard line. And the chains move and the clock continues to tick. Coronado still needs a couple stops here so they can try to make up this 15-point deficit. Now Romero in motion. Give it to the second man through. And a short gain of 2. On the carry was Romero. Check that, not Romero, 42 is Courtney. I'm having Walt check on a number that's given us some fits here. Full wishbone backfield. Motion is Romero. Back is Carroll over the middle, and this one undercut and almost intercepted by Rempel. Kane Rempel, the cornerback, undercut the play and almost had the second interception for Coronado on the night. It's going to bring up 3rd and 8. What a big play that would have been for the Cougars if Rempel had been able to hold on. Shaking his head over there on the far side. Can't believe he had one that Came right to him. Jackson Eads out to his side now. Pitch the ball to Rascone. And Rascone gets the corner and a little bit more. Undercutting him over there was Rempel, but not until he's up to the 40-yard line, which is going to be right at the sticks. Looks like it will be enough for a first down, and there is the indication. So this Central offense starting to churn away. They took over the clock 2 minutes ago. Slowly eating time. Now down to 4:14 in the third. 28-13 is our score. Two receivers to the right. Carroll with the keeper. Tackled in the backfield, but able to drive his way forward to avoid the sack. He'll gain 2 on the play. Cougars fighting up Frank, Jaden Yanni, Elijah Boulder. Second and 8. Two receivers to the right this time. Give it off to Courtney, trying the left side. And we have got an injured Warrior down. Courtney held to a gain of 1, and we have got a timeout for an injury on the play. One of the big linemen, that is Julian Lima, the 6 foot, 230-pound junior. He'll make his way to the sideline. Let's see who comes in for him. And send Israel Lima into the ball game. Lima takes position on the left-hand side. 3rd and 7 now. Carroll on a rollout and throws this one in here. Incomplete, bounced in. Delgado on the coverage. Pass intended for Jackson Eads, the senior, and it will be incomplete. 4th down and 7 now for the Warriors. 2:54 to go here in the third. Good thing about these incompletes, saving timeouts for the Cougars. Still have all 3 trailing by 15. Punt formation now. Ladarius Mays stands inside of his 20, waiting the kick. Ranging to his right over his head, and he'll watch it bounce into the end zone. And the Cougars will start at the 20. So the offense has produced 6 points. The defense has come up with a fumble and a big stop against this Warriors offense. Now it's time for the offense to take advantage for Coronado if they can. 2:46 left to go here in the third quarter, and Coronado quickly up to the line. Chappell hands it off to Michi. Michi sneaks his way ahead for just a couple up to the 22-yard line. Coronado quickly back to the line. Big series on the defense for Coronado that last time, partner. Didn't get the interception, which would have been nice to keep him in the Warriors' end, but now the offense back on the field. Ladarius Mays, several of these Warrior outside players are going to see that dip and kick to the outside in their sleep, and they're going to have nightmares all weekend about it.
I think they're having nightmares right now when they see 11 coming at them. I don't see a lot of folks out there too willing to get in there and mix it up with them.
First down out to the 30-yard line. Mays and Michi in the backfield with Chappell. Out in the flat this time, the completion is made, but short gain. And that was to Senrick. Coming up to make the tackle for Central, that was Luke Pleasant, the senior, out there playing corner now. Shotgun, give it to, is that Michi or 2? Trying the left-hand side, he'll be ahead for 2.
Well, I'll tell you it's Michi because 2 is not going to be back in the game. He's got an ice bag on his knee down here on the sideline, and I don't think his return is inevitable tonight.
So Mason Michi in there at tailback, so Ladarius Mays can come out into the wing position. Ball on the ground, fallen on by the Warriors at the 35. Gabe Chappell trying to hold that fake just a little bit too long. And the ball on the turf, and the Warriors get a big turnover.
Let's take a look at that, partner, and see. Here's the run pass option. He gave it to him, and then he tried to take it back out, and then it got swatted. Was that the big fella that swatted it? No, that looked like 23, actually, who got a hand in there and swatted that ball out. I could be wrong on the number, though.
That would be James Montoya, the freshman safety. So now back to work the offense. Carroll around the outside after a fake. Pushed out by Senrick. Short gain. We'll call it a gain of 1.5 yards. Bring up 2nd and 8.
You got something out of nothing on that play.
Fatigue is about to become a factor with 1:03 left to go in the third for these Cougars defenders. A lot of the Cougars, obviously, along with a lot of the Warriors, go both ways.
But they've been on the field an awful long time, and you can play offense a lot easier than you can play defense.
Pitch it to the right side for Romero. Romero gets sealed in. Short gain there inside the 35. Just a gain of 2. That's going to bring up 3rd and we'll call it 6. Cougars stripping away at that ball on the run. And a great seal block by Cole Taylor on that. He split him out a little bit wide and had him come crack back into the line, but the Cougars still able to get through it.
Into the third quarter, partner.
And we are 20 seconds away from the end of the third quarter. With the score, the Grand Junction Central Warriors 28 and the Coronado Cougars 13. 12 minutes left to play. There you see the sidelines for each team. Scott Edmonds talking to his defense, imploring them to get a couple of stops, get it back to the offense, fellas.
Well, they did their part the last series, so see if they can get another.
This entire second half, that unit has done a good job.
Yeah, scoreless third quarter for the Cougar defense, and that's what you needed. Coming out of that locker room, Cougars able to put 6 points on the board, so you're a little closer. That's what you want. You want to inch back in, and finally get to a point where you can take a shot.
There you see just how Cole Taylor at 6'6" towers above even his own teammates. The senior heading to LSU.
What if he plays basketball?
You see some of the Cougar faithful here, and the Cougar band up in the stands.
I forgot to ask the big fella if he played a little basketball too while he was out there at Grand Junction.
Oh, I'm sure at that height the basketball coaches are all over him if he doesn't. But again, a chance to say thank you if you're watching on our YouTube or Facebook feeds, and remember to subscribe and like us on both of those platforms. And if you're watching the old school way on any of the Channel 16, Comcast Channel 73, or CenturyLink 8004 TV feeds, cable feeds, thank you so much for the tune in. Barry Reed, Walter Johnson, ready to begin the final stanza here at Gary Berry Stadium.
And partner, on Facebook, that was CSSD11, right?
CSSD11. Search that on YouTube or Facebook, and you can get to our feeds. And Grand Junction Central bench.
Not sure what's
wanting
going on over
a
there.
little description of something.
Well, the chains weren't set right. That's what it was. They reset the chains.
3rd and 7 as we switch to ends of the field. The wind, the flags, completely still, partner. This is as quiet an atmosphere as we have seen tonight, or all afternoon long. 2 receivers to the left. Cole Taylor up, now in motion, cycles back. And Carroll goes the home run ball down to the goal line, incomplete, overthrowing the intended receiver. Jackson Eads.
He had a shot at it.
Eads with 9 catches for 125 yards coming into the ball game. I think we've got him for 1 catch tonight, unofficially. So now 4th and 7.
I don't remember.
Offense back in to the huddle for the Warriors. Joe Carroll takes the snap, drops back. They're looking for a little screen, executed beautifully, and diving just enough ahead is Rascone for the first down. Tristan Rascone, the senior tailback. So a chance for the Warriors to keep winding this clock. 11:42 to go here, just underway in the 4th quarter. Two receivers to the left, split the big tight end, Taylor to the right. And it's a keeper for Carroll around this left-hand side. He finds a seam, tries to cut it back. John Myers ranges over and brings him down at the 10-yard line, but it'll be a gain of 15. Another first down for the Warriors. And they're inside the 10, so it will be a 1st and goal.
See what the Warriors come up with here. They've been very successful with the running game, and the one pass they did throw in a touchdown to the big tight end was successful. So got a couple options.
Well, it was down this end of the field. Delgado opened things up with the interception and started Coronado after that. This is Romero, and Romero around the right-hand side, finally tackled, brought down by a host of the Cougars. Jaden Yanni, I believe, on the tackle for the Cougars. Coming all the way from his right defensive end, ranging to the left, following the play and making the tackle. But now it'll be 2nd and goal from the 3. Full wishbone backfield, handed to the 2nd man through. Stopped at the 1-yard line. It will be 3rd and goal from the 1 for the Warriors, looking to increase the lead to 35-13, but also winding the clock. 9:40 and counting here. Central came out, led 14-0. Coronado scored, and then Central returned to kick for a touchdown. Or no, check that. After Mays scored to make it 14-7, Romero ran the next play for the Warriors, 80 yards for the touchdown. And this is Carroll just pushing behind that big offensive line of his into the end zone. And for Carroll, that is the hat trick of touchdowns. That makes 3 tonight and 3 rushing touchdowns on the year now.
Not only do you get behind that big offensive line, but he got a little bit of what they call the Bush push nowadays after that touchdown with Matt Liner at Notre Dame a couple of years ago.
34-13. And Carroll's extra point makes it 35-13. Now a bigger hill to climb, 22 points for the Cougars.
Well, the bigger problem.
Time beginning to be an issue. 9:13 left to go.
I was going to say the bigger problem is the clock. It's only 9:13 left now. You're going to have to strike quick a couple times at least before you have a realistic shot of thinking you can get back in this thing.
The Romero kick return, I was thinking of our earlier game between Doherty and Douglas County. Doherty had scored, opened up the lead a little bit, and then Douglas County went 97 yards on a kick return. And if you'd like to watch that one, you can watch that one as well. It was a league opener between Doherty and Douglas County in the 5A South League.
And if you're a Spartan fan, you're going to like what you see. Well, the second half anyway.
Low scoring first half, blown open in the second half by the Spartans as they raced ahead to victory. And if you're Joe Carroll, big touchdown night, your first throwing touchdown, your first 3 rushing touchdowns of the season, plus you've done all the kicking tonight.
Yeah. You didn't mind this trip down to Colorado Springs if you Mr. Carroll, the night he said.
Grand Junction trying to get their first win of Grand Junction Central, I should say. There is a Grand Junction.
That's right, that's right.
And this is the Central Warriors trying to get win number 1 after an 0-4 start. The Cougars looking for win number 2 after getting their first win after an 0-3 start last week against Palmer. So Coronado has it at the 25-yard line. Change at quarterback again. Jaden Rempel back in the ball game.
Get some reps. Put some stuff on film.
And Ladarius Mays is going to be brought down by Rascon at the line of scrimmage. Inside of 9 minutes now. Gabe Chappell came in and did a pretty good job of moving this Cougars offense. Got him to 13 points down the seam for Senrick and a little bit too high. Good coverage downfield. And that is Jagger Wade.
Cougar faithful saying they want a touchdown, partner. So do we. In fact, we want a couple of them.
8:40 on the clock. Clock stop, big 3rd and 10 here late in the game. Rempel looking over to his sidelines, trying to read the signs from the coaches. Give off to Mays up the middle. Mays is stripped, ball loose, still loose.
And Junction got it.
And the Warriors think they have it. And there is the official signal that they do. 26-yard line. Ladarius Mays coughing the ball up, trying to give extra effort. But the second straight, take a look at it here.
Mays coming up. Big fella just stripped it out of his hand. And
just strength on strength.
Yeah, things start bouncing around and a whole lot of white shirts started showing up.
And unfortunately, a score here, and that should just about do it with 8:32 left if Grand Junction Central can punch it in from the 26. get it to the big tight end, Cole Taylor. Cole Taylor breaks one tackle, and he gets down to the 22-yard line. Just a gain of 4 for the big tight end.
It's going to sound crazy to say, partner, but I'd be more concerned about the fact that time is going off that clock than I am the fact that he may score. The less time you have, obviously, the less chance you have to be able to get back into this thing. So you got to be looking for a turnover if you're that Coronado defense right now.
Next up for Grand Junction Central, they will host 2 Colorado Springs teams, Vista Ridge and Palmer, before making the trip back over to the Front Range to take on Cheyenne Mountain. Carroll with the keeper, staggering a little bit, but able to get down to the 15. That's going to be a gain of 7 and a first down.
Now, don't get me wrong when I say this. Why would you put Grand Junction, in a league where they have to travel to Colorado Springs twice?
Well, it's that or they play Utah. They're
okay.
and it used to be that you had a 5A school and a 3A school in Central and Grand Junction.
Right.
So there's just not a whole lot of over there for them to play.
Well,
it's in their same size.
I'm thinking the Denver school's got to be something in Denver, in that area. Aurora and
high snap again comes down to Carroll. Carroll able to gather it in, and he will get what he can, and that is a yard before he's brought down by Jaden Marlowe, the senior in at linebacker for the Cougars. And you're starting to see a lot of substitutions for Monty Gutowski and the Cougars. Don't know if that's throwing in the towel, but that's definitely, my guys are gassed. They've given it everything they can.
Well, yeah, you get to that point where you get physically beaten, and that's not a knock at all, because that happens. You get physically beaten up.
6:24 left to go. Clock is ticking. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. And ball on the ground. And they are going to rule it down when the Cougars are wanting the ball to be live and returnable.
Oh, boy.
And the officials will discuss this one.
Yeah, but you got a whole bunch of hot Cougars right now, and I don't think it's going to be overturned, to be honest with you. I mean, stranger things have happened, but I don't think they're going to overturn this one. Scott Sampson, your referee tonight, talking with his crew. Yeah, let's see what Scott's going to do. He's going over to the Grand Central side, so that's not a good sign if you're Grand Central. He's going to come over and talk to the Cougars, coaching staff, and they're going to blow a gasket in a minute, I think. Yeah.
Monty Gutowski taking the hat off, looking to throw it. Thinks better of it. Puts it back on, puts his headset back on. 2nd and 9 from the 14-yard line. Cougars thought they had another turnover. Rascon with the pitch, takes it, follows his blocking, finds a seam, and he's inside the 10-yard line before he's brought down. That is John Myers, the senior, still in the ball game.
Well, on the Grand Central side, you go to Grand Junction side, excuse me. You don't have those kids playing because he doesn't have anybody else to play.
3rd and 4. 5.5 minutes approaching before the end of the game. And Central in control of this one, looking to add a little bit more.
Boy, they got 2 guards in there. They got to be about 350 apiece.
This is a give to Romero, and Romero with another score from 9 yards out. So Romero with touchdown number 2. And that should just about do it. At 41-13 pending the extra point.
Yeah, it's tough to come back from this, you're right.
There's just not enough time. That defense played its heart out and got gassed, kept it close. The offense just could not finish.
Yeah, they just took 3 minutes off this clock with this drive.
And up and good for Joe Carroll once again. 42-13 in favor of the Warriors.
Well, it gives us a chance to talk about our game next week. We got those Palmer Terrace coming into Garyberry. They'll be facing the Mesa Ridge Grizzlies. Excuse me.
League opener for Palmer.
I had a chance to see that Mesa Ridge team last week against Whitefield. Our good buddy Julie Jones was down there with me, and that's a pretty good team that Mesa Ridge is going to bring here to the stadium. And Palmer looked good last week, so we might be in for a pretty decent game next week.
Grizzlies 3-2 coming into this week's action. Coronado will fall to 1-4. Next up for the Cougars, they will travel to District 20 to take on Air Academy. Now, Air Academy last night beat Palmer, but it was only by 2 points.
And was that here?
I think that was up at Air Academy.
Okay.
On the grounds of the academy. And here is Rempel, Kane Rempel with the return, breaks free, deep into Warrior territory, knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line. We have got an injured Warrior back at the 34-yard line on the north side of the field.
We might have, no, I thought we had a flag down too, but we don't.
Kane Rempel with a big return on the kick.
Now
5:09, clock stopped here at the change of possession and for the injured Warrior back at the 35.
They're calling for medical staff assistant, so obviously we won't speculate on anything here. Just hope that the young man is able to get up on his own and walk off the football field.
Unable to see a number here. But with that short bench for the Warriors, any injury is a big one.
Well, I'm kind of like Bill Walton, partner. The only thing they asked him once about a surgery, was it major or minor? And Walton said the only minor surgery is surgery done on somebody else. If it's happening to me, it's major. So right now.
Get a look at the Cougar sideline there. The good news is the player was moving his legs for Grand Junction Central.
Yeah, that's the first thing you want to see. And I think they were testing his hands too to make sure he can grip. So that's all good news there, hopefully.
So it'll be a joyous bus ride back over the mountains for Grand Junction Central tonight after an impressive, at least right now, 29-point victory. But we have still got 5:09 left to go, and the Coronado Cougars at the 30 of the Warriors.
Still getting some attention for that young man there. And bring a card out, it looks like. So let's see.
You see the trainer holding the head and neck still as a precaution.
Well, like I said, we won't speculate on anything here.
Chris Knoll, the District 11 Athletic Director, on the microphone, or on the walkie-talkie.
The last thing you want to see is flashing lights here, so we hope that's not the case for this young man. Don't know if we got I don't think we have a replay on it to see what happened. So we'll just wait and see what we can find out here. Moving his feet, that's a good sign. You love this game. We were talking about this offline a little earlier, partner. You love this game and everything that goes along with it. It's a violent game. People get hurt, and we okay with that, but you just don't like to see it. It's just one of those things.
And especially at the high school level and below.
Yeah.
The pros make a lot of money in a lot of cases to take the risk.
Yeah.
Here at the high school level, a lot of these kids,
they do it for
you
fun.
can look at the stats. You know, there's a couple. I mean, we've got one player out of probably 90 that's going, at least right now, that's committed to D1.
Right.
And that is Cole Taylor, the 6'6" tight end heading to LSU. For a lot of these players, and there's a couple other players here that I could see getting a D2 shot, maybe a D2.
Maybe
you know, they're young enough to where in the next couple years they could really develop into that D1 type of player. But my high school playing days end at a junior, and we are still unable to confirm a number of the Warrior that is down. But
I think I see
you look at the numbers that actually make it from, you know, youth league to high school, and then high school into college, and then college into the professional levels.
Right.
And, you know, you do everything you can to make the game as safe as possible.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, yeah.
And our thoughts and prayers are with the player and the family. That
most definitely.
This is not a serious injury. All the precautions being taken by the staff down on the field, from the trainers to the...
And a lot of times that's exactly what it is right now, partner. You know, you look at this and you might think it's something more serious than it may turn out to be. And a lot of times, you know, you just want the medical folks to take a look first before you make any diagnosis. You can do the initial diagnosis and you can kind of figure what's going on. I think I hear an ambulance coming in now. You can think you know what's going on, but until those medical professionals get here who can make a diagnosis and give you that feeling that everything's okay, you don't want to take a chance with a young guy. So,
well, I don't know if the guys in the truck can take us to a minute or two long break while the ambulance makes its way to the stadium. But we will be back. The score, the Warriors 42 and the Cougars 13. The Warriors have been in control most of the night. Coronado started to come back here in the second half, got 2 field goals, and just missed on an interception that would have given them the ball deep in Grand Junction territory. But then 2 answering touchdowns by Grand Junction Central pushed the lead to 42-13. We're going to take a break here on the District 11 channels, and we will be back in just a couple minutes to conclude the last 5 minutes and 9 seconds of this one.
What sets Colorado Springs School District 11 apart from other districts? Some say it is our dedicated and talented staff who are devoted to the education and learning of our students. Some say it's because D11 achieves excellence through diversity, or because we serve the unique needs of all. We know we dare to empower all students to profoundly impact our world. But what does any of this have to do with our brand? We believe our district's brand is what other people say about us when we're not around. Our brand is the perceptions we own, what our audience expects from us, and what they think we've delivered. It contains who we are and what we're becoming, and reflects our values and our ideals. And if we are to influence those perceptions, we need to be intentional about how we tell our story. Colorado Springs School District 11 is thrilled to announce the official launch of a new brand identity and messaging system.
Just as our school district stands out in a competitive field, we wanted our brand to stand out against our competitors. Colorado Springs is as much a part of D11 as D11 is a part of Colorado Springs. D11 is Colorado Springs' school district. In our workshops with the local creatives who led the design, we sketched hundreds of D11s. It was critical that we selected the D11 structure and font that would set our brand apart from any other. Teams involved in this process looked at logos from over 130 school districts around the country. Many of the Colorado Springs districts had one thing in common: mountains. We wanted D11 to stand out from the crowd, so it was decided no mountains. Why the color red? How else could we stand out? School districts around the country use every color you can imagine in their branding. But here in town, we noticed fewer districts using red. Red really makes us stand out from the rest. I learned that there is so much more to determining a brand identity than simply sitting down and creating a logo. There is a lot of psychology that goes into the process behind the scenes. Doing the research, conducting interviews with stakeholders, and understanding what the organization is really all about is so important to the design and message architecture. The final test? Does it look good in print? On a building? On a school bus? On a football field? We think so.
In addition to visual guidelines, the new D11 brand system includes messaging based on research conducted in the community and input from a cross-sectional committee. Thank you to all the students, parents, educators, and district staff who participated in this project and who shaped D11's reputation all day, every day. The D11 story is your story, and we want to tell it well. This is D11, and this is how we inspire every mind.
And welcome to your 2019 Homecoming Assembly. Working hard all season, and
Olympic Day is celebrated worldwide to promote the joy of sport and create opportunities for people to participate regardless of age, gender, or athletic ability. The Olympic Day pillars are move, learn, and discover.
All of this moving, learning, and discovering was organized by PE teacher Kristen Whitcomb. She works at Rogers Elementary School, one of 25 elementary schools in Colorado Springs, to host an Olympic Day event this year. These events revolve around the 3 U.S. Olympic values of excellence, friendship, and respect. Because it's not just about being a champion in sport, it's about being a champion in life.
My favorite part of being a school counselor is just working with the students, right? I get to, as the AVID counselor and coordinator, I get to work with students who have a lot of barriers and maybe aren't represented in college atmosphere. So it's the best of the best. They're very determined. They want to go to college. They want to succeed. They have a lot of things that are holding them back that maybe they don't have any control over. So I show up every day to work with them and be a part of their lives. School counselors, I think, really help give us, allow them to stabilize at school and give them the support they need to know they can keep moving forward and to take those next steps. Or just to have somebody to talk to be like, this is a struggle of mine and I don't know what my next steps are. I don't know my own strengths to be able to move forward.
I want to thank Ms. Renton for believing in me, for being more than a counselor, but for also being a friend. For allowing me to strive and for reminding me every day that I'm capable of more than what the world tells me that I'm capable of and what I think I'm capable of.
I think the most important.
And back to Gary Berry Stadium. The Grand Junction Central Warrior has been loaded onto the cart and is now being placed into the ambulance to go receive further treatment or further evaluation at one of the local healthcare facilities. And we are about to get back underway here in the fourth quarter, which has suddenly turned solemn. 42-13 in favor of the Grand Junction Central Warriors. But the Cougars with the ball after the kickoff return at the Warriors' 30-yard line. But again, trailing 42-13 here. Rempel back out into the flat to Mays. Good blocking downfield. Ladarius Mays cannot break the final tackle down at the 7-yard line. It'll be a gain of 23. Tackle made by Luke Pleasant, the 5'9", 150-pound senior. Now just inside of 5 minutes. Rempel has 2 men to the short side. Give it off to Mays, looking for a hole in the middle. And all he's going to find is Cole Taylor, who had jumped in from his defensive tackle spot and gotten a hold of Mays. Short gain on the play down to the 5. And rejoined by Walt Johnson, who went down to the field during the break. What did you find out, partner? Who was the Warriors player?
Actually, it is number 10. That's who the injured player was.
That is Adam Tuck, the 5'7", 150-pound sophomore cornerback.
Clean hit. One of those football hits, you know. He was talking, alert. Feel good about what I saw, but I'm not a doctor, of course, so they're going to take him in for a precautionary look. But I think we're going to get some good news out of this one.
4:08 on the clock. Coronado, 3rd down and goal from the 5. Rempel hands it to Michi. Michi still fighting, gets his way down to the 2-yard line. That'll bring up 4th and goal from the 2 for the Cougars. Trying to put up another score. It won't win them the ball game, but they can work on some things and feel a little bit better about themselves having played the full 48 minutes. Give it to Mays on the 4th down, and Ladarius Mays just uses his strength to power over the line for the touchdown. And overpowering Rascon, and then showing some good sportsmanship with a couple of the Warriors.
Well, this has been a very good game in terms of sportsmanship. You know, I don't think either team will have a problem with the other team in that regard. It was just the Warriors' night with the ball down to. Kick is up and good.
Kick is up and good by Smith. So 42-19 is our score.
20. Extra point will make it 42-20, partner. And
yeah, because it was 42-13.
Yeah, they
Coronado kicked 2 field goals.
That's 6.
Earlier.
It was 13 and then 16, so 6 is
13 and 6 makes it 19, and 1 makes it 20, according to my Colorado Springs math. I don't know about your Jersey math.
Jersey math, too. I don't know where the scoreboard got 21 from, but I think I'll go with you. He might have thought it was a 2-point conversion.
Kinsley Smith, the junior.
And scoreboard's correct now.
And the hands team on for the Warriors.
And 1 man back. They're expecting the onside kick. And they get it.
And there it is. And whistle. Coronado was offsides. There's the flag on the field. And remember, Coronado received the opening kick of the second half.
5-yard penalty.
And Grand Junction Central, up 28-7 at the time, tried to onside kick it to gain the advantage. Coronado able to get on it. That drive ended with a 29-yard Smith field goal to make it 28-10. Then Grand Junction Central fumbled on its next possession. Coronado able to take that down for a 24-yard Smith field goal. And on the next possession, a punt in and out of the hands of Kane Rempel, or a pass in and out of the hands of Kane Rempel. Could have been an interception deep in Grand Junction's end to keep the momentum going. But that was it. Coronado fumbled on the possession after forcing the punt. And then back-to-back Central possessions resulted in touchdowns. Carroll from 1 yard and Romero from 9 yards to really blow this game open from a 15-point lead up to the 42-13 deficit. Onside kick fails. So it will be the Warriors ball. 3:35 to go here. Leading by 21. Carroll back on with the offense. Trips to the right. Carroll will keep it himself straight up the middle, and he is going to be brought down for a short gain. Jaden Yanni holds that to a gain of 2, sniffing it out, holding his position. And Yanni coming up a little gimpy here, trying to walk off an ankle. 2nd and 8 with the clock running. 3:08, 3:07, 3:06, 3:05.
And if I'm Grand Junction Central, I am wasting no time. I'm taking my time, excuse me. That's what I meant to say.
Coronado all 3 timeouts, but trailing by 21 with under 3 minutes to go. Unless there's a quick turnover here, I doubt they will use them. Carroll ranging to the right is going to pick up 2 down to the 43-yard line. And now the question becomes, where are your backups for the Warriors? You've got this one well in hand, and I know you've got a short bench, but you don't want your starters to get hurt before you enter league play.
And this might be a case where they dress those kids just to have them on the sideline, but they don't really play them, and that could be it.
You've got battles with Palmer, Cheyenne Mountain, Vista Ridge, Mesa Ridge, and of course the biggie, Pine Creek, if you're going to win a league title. This is Rascon down the right side through a nice little hole. He'll be down to the 32-yard line. Another first down for the Warriors. Clock continues to roll. We are under 2 minutes at 1 minute and 50 seconds.
Talking about Pine Creek, when you talk about Pine Creek, it's one of those things where, okay, did we come within 3 touchdowns of them? Hey, we played a pretty good game. That's how good that team is.
And that was a good team that Doherty had recently. Carroll under center. Great play made by John Myers. Knifing the gap, getting a hold and hanging on. Loss of 2 on the play, make it 2nd and 12. 104, 103, 102, 101. 60 ticks left in this one, folks. An impressive win by the Warriors, making the bus ride and doing just enough to stymie the Cougars, who were on a high after last week's first win of the year, looking to make it 2 in a row. But it will be the Warriors in victory formation who will celebrate the first win. They will finish non-league play at 1-4 and enter league play next week as they host Vista Ridge. And then 5 days later, they will host the Palmer Terrors before coming back over to the Front Range to take on Cheyenne Mountain. At least they get the Eagles in Grand Junction. And then they will finish with another trip back to the Front Range for Mesa Ridge. So celebrate the victory tonight. Have a safe, enjoyable trip home. Will the Warriors, the Cougars, will go back to the drawing board and see where they need to improve. The final from Gary Berry Stadium is 42-20 in favor of the Grand Junction Central Warriors as they defeat the Coronado Cougars. For my partner, Walter Johnson, for the Media Production Services staff, please remember to like and subscribe on our Facebook and YouTube channels. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Have a great weekend, everybody. We will see you next Friday night from Gary Berry Stadium for Palmer and Mesa Ridge. Good night.